Is it niche? Niche. Kind of sounds like bitch. Make a niche your bitch. Niche? 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 Konnichiwa. Hey guys, in this week's video, we're going to be talking about niches and the 4 myths that are keeping you from actually embracing a niche. I'm gonna need a little bit of booze. All right, so I get this all of the time where therapists are so scared to define a niche for their practices because they've been taught in grad school to work with everybody. But here's the problem. When you work with everybody, nobody actually feels like you're talking to them. So a niche is so vital for a healthy, successful private practice. And today, I'm gonna share the 4 myths that are keeping you from actually embracing your niche. So number 1, is the confinement myth. Confinement myth says that I'm going to fill my entire practice with only one type of client. But here's the truth. You're the boss. You get to make the rules. You don't have to see 100% of the same exact issue in your practice. People are going to be connected to you and the way that you show up on your website, on your directory profiles, and how you network with other providers. So you're not actually going to fill your entire practice with only one issue, unless you want to. You really want people to view you as the expert in your field, because that is how you're essentially going to be able to charge more for the value that you're providing. And it also makes marketing and networking a whole lot easier when you get to say, hey, these are my people. These are the people that I love serving. Don't be afraid, because you're not confining yourself to only one type of issue for the rest of your career. Myth number 2, the exclusion myth. This says that if I pick a niche, I'll exclude or alienate all of the other kinds of people who I also love serving. The truth is, you're actually only excluding those who you wouldn't want to work with anyway. Your authenticity is going to attract the kinds of clients who are best for you, actually regardless of whether or not they're in your niche. For example, I primarily work with couples, but every single week I'm getting calls for individual females, individual males, children, teens. Now I'm not taking all of them, but the thing is that these people are attracted to the way that I'm showing up on my website. Not so much that, well, she says that she works with couples, does that mean she can't help me? So what I'm trying to do is exclude the people who I wouldn't do good work with anyway. So having a niche actually gives you more flexibility. Because when someone calls you based on something on your website, maybe it resonated with them, you get to still work with them if you want to. You don't have to send people away just because they're not in your niche. So just like we see people as more than just a set of symptoms or their diagnosis, you are more than just your niche. All right, and number 3, the imposter myth. Of course, we're all familiar with this. Bitchy Brenda comes into our ear. Bitchy Brenda is kind of that voice inside your head that tells you that you're worthless and that you don't know anything. Isn't it great? So the imposter myth says, I don't know enough about this area to actually claim it as my niche. Here's the truth. There's a reason you chose that area as something that you're interested in. Maybe you do have personal experience in this. Maybe you've gone through your own therapy for it. Maybe you have additional training or experience, certifications. So you have to remember that you are truly an expert in this field. But at the end of the day, if you're really interested in something and claiming it as your niche, but you truly do not feel like you're an expert, just get some training. That's all there is to it. And number 4, the scarcity myth. So the scarcity myth basically says that there aren't enough people in my town for me to claim this one area as my niche. Can I call bullshit on that for a second? Think about it. There may be 25, 50, 100,000 people in your city. So you claiming a niche, let's say that only 1% of the population fits within that. You're still gonna fill a full-time caseload for the rest of your career, I promise. And along those same lines, I get a lot of emails from people saying, but Laura, there are already too many people in my area serving this exact niche. There's too many therapists, so how am I gonna make a name for myself? Well, here's the thing. That's scarcity right there. Because there's so many people in need of the very thing that you have, and you're more than your niche. So even if there are 2 therapists in a small town serving the exact same population, they didn't go to the same grad school, they didn't get the same training, and they're definitely not the same person. So Don't let scarcity convince you that even if there's 50 therapists serving the same population, that you can't also make a name for yourself. Because ultimately, all that tells you is that if there's 50 people serving the same niche, there's that much demand in your area for that niche. So I hope I've finally made a case for you generalists out there, and that you are willing now to embrace the idea of a niche. All right, so comment below and tell me which myth resonated with you. Is it the confinement myth? The exclusion? Is imposter syndrome coming in there, bitchy Brenda? Or the scarcity myth? Which one really resonated with you? Comment below, I want to hear from you. All right, see you next week. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe and go to yourbadasstherapypractice.com. I have a free 4-part video e-course on how to take your Psychology Today profile from bad to badass. Can't wait to see you there.